While most people dream of exploring the world from one coastline to the next, and from going from Sydney, Australia to the craziness that is Florida, there are some who prefer going down the path less traveled. And if you consider yourself to be part of this group, you'll also know that some places are better left unvisited, while others have been labeled as off limits for safety reasons. But where are these dangerous places, and will we ever be able to visit them? Well, whether you're a fan of peculiar exploration or just want to know more about the areas that human beings should be staying away from while traveling, stay right where you are, as we're about to take a look at the secret places that you will never want to or be able to visit. So strap yourselves in and get ready for a bumpy ride, as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting the post notification bell so you're always kept up to date on everything we put out there. Snake Island. The very first destination on our list is the infamous Snake Island, which is located in the Atlantic Ocean just off the coast of São Paulo state in the country of Brazil. Although referred to as Snake Island by everybody in the surrounding area, this is actually the island of Ilha de Queimada Grande. With that being said, the name is quite fitting considering how the entirety of the island is actually filled to the brim with unique and highly venomous species of snakes. The most popular breed on the island is that of the lancehead viper, which is actually considered to be one of the most venomous types of snakes in the world. This is especially true when it comes to the vast colony of golden lancehead pit vipers, which are found upon the island and have been studied quite extensively by scientists who often visit the area for research purposes. The golden lancehead is, after all, only found on Snake Island. The island covers about 45 hectares worth of land and is next to impossible to reach without the help of a guide. To reach it, scientists first have to make their way over to almost 30 kilometers worth of choppy water from the coast of São Paulo. And since there's very few sea captains who are willing to make that trip, this could be more than difficult to achieve. Upon reaching the island, you're going to find that there's absolutely no beach to speak of, which means you'll have to drop anchor and swim to the island. It needs to also be said that the Brazilian Navy has expressly forbidden civilians, along with tourists alike, from anchoring by the island and visiting our scaly friends. As we stated earlier, it's basically only scientists who are given special leave to visit the island when their research calls for it. But believe us when we say that you definitely wouldn't want to visit it anyway. There's at least 5,000 snakes calling this island home, and each one more dangerous than the last. And in true fantasy fashion, the snakes have even taken over a now defunct lighthouse, bringing a terrifying myth into existence. According to local legend, the lighthouse keeper was living peacefully with his family on the island until snakes slowly made their way into his cottage. As the family tried to flee, they were taken out by one or more of the vipers that could be found dangling from the branches above, leaving the island all to themselves. And while this might be nothing more than a myth, it definitely paints a picture of what awaits us at Snake Island. So stay away unless you have a death wish and permission from the Navy, of course. Surtsey. Next up, we have the island of Surtsey, which is located just to the south of the Icelandic coast, with its nearest population area being Reykjavik. This North Atlantic island is considered to be one of the planet's youngest places, having emerged from the sea due to an underwater volcanic eruption that lasted from 1963 up until 1967. Formed by around 4 years of volcanic rock, this little island paradise was quickly declared to be a nature reserve, with only a small band of scientists being able to access it and record how life on the rock is spontaneously developing. Since the research being carried out by these scientists would be ruined by local tourists who would be introducing a number of human variables to the island, the ordinary visitor is strictly prohibited from being able to take a trip to this rock. The infant island of Surtsey is around 20 kilometers southwest of Himini, which is the largest of the Westman Islands. It was from here that residents started to notice the water's warming and the terrible smell of hydrogen sulfide rising from a plume of smoke back in 1963. But scientists have suggested that the eruption that caused Surtsey had actually taken place a few days earlier, erupting from 130 odd meters beneath sea level. The island of Surtsey now covers an area of about 2.7 square kilometers, which is minutely small as far as islands are concerned. It's also been estimated that the island will not return to the sea until at least the year 2100. That is, unless we continue to screw up the Earth even further with our lack of respect for and overuse of greenhouse gases. The Surtsey Research Society supervises all activity on the island on behalf of the Icelandic Environment and Food Agency. Even diving in the island's environs is not allowed. It's also forbidden to discharge a firearm within 2 kilometers of the coast. And even though the island is so young, it currently holds around 69 vascular plants, 71 lichen, 24 fungi, 14 different species of birds, and 335 species of invertebrates. It is by and large the most pristine natural habitat in the world and really does add merit to Darwin's theory of evolution. Pity you won't be able to visit it anytime soon. The Google Data Center. Since Google has fast become one of the wealthiest companies in the world, making all of our lives a lot easier in the long run, fans of the service might want to take a look at its first purpose-built data center in Wasco County, Oregon. As we are all aware, in order to support the #1 search engine in the world, this data center requires a vast number of databanks of computer servers, all of which keep the search engine pumping. When this enormous data center at the Dallas was first built, it was done in complete secrecy and cost around $600 million to construct. The area didn't only offer suitable land for the building of the data center though, but for a local community for around 200 employees with the possibility of hydroelectricity as taken from the Dallas Dam and its surrounding runoff areas. The area itself was considered to be so secretive when it was first built that visiting journalists had to sign confidentiality agreements, which is crazy considering how it's their job to report on what they saw at the facility. To this day, a full-time information security team works to ensure the integrity of the electronically held info at the Google data center. So, if you ever do want to visit, you would simply have to climb over the large perimeter fence and tango past the patrolling guards, while obviously taking out the CCTV watchers. Take our advice though and stay away, as otherwise you might be spending time in prison. North Sentinel Island. The North Sentinel Island can be found amongst the Andaman Islands within the Bay of Bengal and should be avoided at all costs due to the excessive danger that visitors to the island have faced over the years. The nearest population hub of Port Blair, Great Andaman, may be safe, but go anywhere further and you'll most definitely be taking your life in your own hands. The island covers around 72 square kilometers of land and has an indigenous population of around 50 to 400 Sentinelese. It's clear from the guesstimate that not even researchers have been able to make their way onto the island in order to do a count of the population. The Sentinelese are, after all, one of the last remaining groups on Earth who have rejected contact with the rest of the modern world. The group is protective of their isolation and culture, with those who have attempted to board the island having a hail of arrows piercing their boat, and in some instances even killing them in the process. So, since this is one of the 572 islands in an 800-kilometer arc of the South Andaman Islands, be sure that you don't have taken a wrong turn while exploring the area. Suffice it to say, the island lacks any natural harbors and is suspected to be surrounded by uncharted coral reefs. These reefs have not only prevented visitors from traveling to the island, but have also stopped the Sentinelese from branching out, as they only have boats suitable for calm lagoons. Over the past couple of years, there have been a couple of attempts to try and communicate with the population of North Sentinel Island, such as one in 1974, where a visiting documentary crew was fired upon with the director taking an arrow to the thigh and getting the heck out of there. The first recorded friendly contact, though, with the inhabitants of the island took place in 1991, but it needs to be said that similar schemes have resulted in disastrous consequences. In fact, it's not just visitors who need to fear a visit, as those who were treated with respect essentially brought disease over to the islands, decimating the great Andamanese and Jawara from existence. So it's no wonder the Sentinelese don't want any more tourists to set foot on their island. The Vatican's secret archives. Last on our list, we have a destination that the vast majority of the population would absolutely love to visit, but since it's considered to be highly secured, this is a dream that'll probably never be fulfilled. We're of course talking about the secretive Vatican archives, which are contained beneath the Threadneedle Street in London, England. Many of the most important documents related to the history of the papacy and the Roman Catholic Church are contained within these archives, to whom only certain researchers are being able to give access. It needs to also be said that those who are given access are kept away from certain sections, which are considered to be off limits to all, which has caused many to believe that they hide some evidence of the dark past of the Catholic Church. The area is considered to be the papacy's private possession. It contains somewhere in the region of 85 kilometers worth of shelving, which hold materials and books that date as far back as the 8th century. This is why all visitors to the archives must have a degree of some sort, with the success of a formal application being necessary, which is based on the conduction of historical research. So, what do you think of these hidden places that the majority of us will never be able to visit? Be sure to let us us know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting that post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.